Hi, it's Glenn Dietzel here, and I almost forgot to unmute myself had it not been for Nadine here in our international office. And it's a good thing she's here because sometimes I forget to do things like tape things or unmute myself. I want to welcome all of you officially, now that you can hear me, to our live Google Hangout. And I'm speaking again from our international office here. And one of the things that I thought about doing, and a number of people have recommended that I do, and we'll probably start doing it next week, is running our Google Hangouts actually from the Canadian Lake Home and doing most of them from there. It gives you an opportunity to see a really cool vantage, first-hand vantage point, if you will, or reference point of seeing where we run our companies and why our clients love coming to the Canadian Lake Home and getting the results that they do. And after all, that's what your clients are investing in, like my clients, in getting results. So I'm going to take you through a three-pronged approach today on what we do to close clients. And when I talk about clients, attracting the ideal client who wants to invest in your highest end programs and services. I'm spending a lot of time vetting people individually for our highest end programs and services, and I want to show you what we do, how I've been able to attract some of today's leading companies today in the thought field, some very large companies that are coming to me really interested in what we're doing, wanting to partner with us or leverage what we're doing, not only for their own clients, but in a strategic arrangement with my company. So I want you to understand that I'm not doing these Google Hangouts as a presentation, if you will. You get a chance to meet me, see who I am, realize that in today's world, it's not about marketing, it's not about sales, it's about increasing your marketability and your sellability. Now I'm going to for those of you that are newer to our program, you can make comments at newgurumodel.com/hangout. So if you're on there watching right now, you can do that. Please, we welcome your comments, your questions. I do not have I have not opened up a window today to take a look at the comments or questions because I want to be very tasky, very focused with you, and help you leverage our time together. I will get back to you on the comments, questions that you have, and indeed we'll use our Google Hangouts to assist you on getting the answers that you're really looking for in speed to market fashion, because after all, it's the number one reason why people invest in our programs is they want to leverage our accelerated business processes and our accelerated teaching and learning systems. So I'm going to with that being said here, I'm going to add a couple of things here. So just give me a moment here because I want to show you a few things that we're doing. In order to do that, I need to open up a window here. And I didn't open it up here already. So let me just open this up here for you because I'm going to come back to it. And now I'm all set here because I'm going to show you a few things. I think it would be a good thing if you got a chance to see what we do. All right, modeling is the number one way that we learn, learning how to model. So I want to give you the opportunity to model the best. You model the best, and it's going to give you the kind of growth that you really are looking for in your own business, right? Are you following me? Are you getting it? And as you can see here, what I like about Google Hangouts is it gives you a chance to meet me. For those of you that are in our Omega Mind program, you're going to get a chance to meet me many times at the Canadian Lake Home. I'm really looking forward to helping you close deals, helping you build your presentations very strategically, like I've been doing with my own clients for the last 10 years, helping them close deals very strategically, deals that run from $5,000 to $100,000 to run well into 7 figures. So you're going to love our predictable and accountable systems if you're new to us, and you're absolutely going to love the fact that we're at the forefront of mentoring and consulting. And I like this medium because you get a chance to meet me, see who I am, how we do things, and realizing that it's not about perfection. If you take a look at me, I am certainly not a perfect looking person. What we have are excellent systems to help our clients get the kind of results that they really long for. And I'm very proud of, we're taking a little break here from interviewing some of our clients over the last few months. We do this kind of, off and on. We interview some clients. We show you what our clients are doing. Just on a Google Hangouts recently, I've interviewed Nancy Matthews. I showed you how she closed $60,000 in programs in 24 hours following our predictable, certain, and secure systems. I interviewed Luke Charlton, one of the youngest people online today to close a significantly high-end programmer service, and knowing how to use what we've been covering. ABP's one of the programs that we've been talking about, how to build out advisory-based products so that you can close deals really quickly. I just interviewed last week Winston Churchill, not Winston, the great man of history during World War II, but Winston Churchill, and one of our clients showed you how he is able to just really increase and create some massive traction and leverage for his business. I've interviewed Brian Duval, and 2 weeks ago showed you how he closes deals over a cup of coffee, and I've got my Starbucks coffee here for us today, with me today to help me think and be in the moment for you. And just a couple weeks ago, I interviewed Joy Pecchia and showed you what she's doing on building her own certification co-branding program and how her business has grown in ways that she's never ever dreamed of. And today she's got Fortune 500 companies coming to her. She's an executive coach. She's built an amazing business platform where she's got companies now coming to her that want to be certified in her systems, and also seeking a co-branding arrangement where she's building some very dependable royalties for her company. So at the end of the day, everything is about transactionalizing your business value. Transactionalizing your business value. So let's focus today, and what I like about Google Hangouts is understanding this, and why I love what I do, and what I've been focusing on in our business breakthrough Hangouts is understanding the difference between simple and simplicity. You must understand the difference between simple and simplicity. What do I mean by that? Well, business is not simple, and anybody that thinks that growing a company today is easy is so far from the truth, it's not even funny. However, I want you to understand that what makes it even more difficult for so many people is they're doing the wrong things, or they're doing maybe they're doing right things, but they're doing them at the wrong time. For example, if you hate convoluted business funnels, if you hate product launches, by the way, they don't work, if you hate being dependent on a high-priced copywriter, and these copywriters run $25,000 or higher, and I'll tell you that firsthand. Been in this marketplace a long time, longer than most people. You hate being held hostage to these kinds of models. You're going to love and fall in love with what we do and what I'm going to teach you and show you, again, not only from a business acceleration perspective, but from an advanced or an accelerated teaching and learning perspective. So we're going to talk more about that and why I always stress that, because that's one of our competitive advantages as a company, as you will see, and as I allow you to live vicariously through my own clients. So if you don't like me and you don't like the way I look and the fact that I am not perfect, I'm going to be getting a haircut today that's getting a little bit long. But I want you to understand that I can have fun. You know, I do come across as being very anal, and that can be kind of a little bit scary at times because I can be intense. And it's only because I expect that my clients do exactly what I do, and I wouldn't wouldn't make any recommendations separate from my own recommendations in business. So as as you're part of our Google Hangouts, and I really trust that you'll engage yourself at the highest level with my company, that you'll use the comment section on our Hangout page, and I gave you that here, and it's this right here. You either use our new GuruModel.com Hangout page for comments, or for those of you that are watching in Facebook, please comment, interact. We're here to assist you. And we've got the perfect business model. If you hate, as I said, convoluted business funnels, product launches, you know, having to do all these, you know, competing on the lowest rungs of the price ladder, and you really truly want to position yourself And the only option that you have outside of where all the competition is, and that's positioning yourself on price, position yourself around value. And if you understand what I'm saying, you're going to love what we're talking about and what I'm going to be discussing with you today. So I'm giving you the inside look on how I've built my company, how we continue to build our company, how we build conversations in the marketplace at an accelerated rate. And part of that is you've always want to position yourself at the front end of trends. So I want to talk to you today about 3 important variables in closing deals. And I want to kind of self-reflect on what we've been covering, what some of my clients have been commenting on, their specific recommendations on growing your business based on through their own eyes using our proven and measurable systems. And it gives me a chance today to kind of collate and synthesize together what we've been doing. All right. So I want to first of all point out that in today's marketplace, this is a multi-billion-dollar training industry in which we live. A multi-billion-dollar training industry. The industry is only growing. And if you understand that we've moved from the information age and we've moved to a very new age, an age in which people are overwhelmed. People today trust a very few trusted advisors, and I've just tipped my hat that we live in the advisory age. If you take a look at your own life, there's a few people that you lean on, and you lean on them for all different reasons. Maybe it's not even their core areas of competencies, but you lean on them because you trust them, you trust their advice, and you trust their recommendations. And that's why we've always also said, for the last 6 years, that we live in the advisory age, and in the recommendation age. And that recommendation age has moved into the advisory age. And in today's marketplace, you've got to be highly, highly, highly strategic. So if you hate the tactics and strategies that simply don't work in today's marketplace, and yet 99% of the gurus and experts are teaching these, you're going to want to invest in a predictable, certain, and secure system that's going to bring you the kind of results that you really want. If you talk to my father, my dad's all about businesses as a retired CPA. Same with my father-in-law, that companies need to know how to translate their assets into cash flow. So that's what I want us to focus on. So we're going to start by looking at the first component of our 3-pronged approach today, and that's understanding how to frame yourself. How to frame yourself, all right? I want to bring out some concepts that I haven't seen covered. I'm well read. I've invested hugely into coaching and consulting. My own company, several $1 million back into my own company to grow it. A little over $350,000 in my own coaching and mentoring that I've hired out over the years. And I want to give you the accelerated approach, the fastest way of doing what you want to be able to do so that you can do the things that you really want to be doing. So we're not going to be talking about simple things. We're going to be talking about taking the complexity of business and making and focusing on the simplicity of business. Because I see so many entrepreneurs, they make business so complex. If we live in the advisory age, we do. We live in the recommendation age, then we need to know how to leverage this. All right, you following me? Are you beginning to see more clearly that you want to build a business that doesn't enslave you? And so many people today are creating a business, and they're using a business model that they quickly become enslaved to. And I want to take you away from that slavery, from the drudgery, from being held hostage to what you really want to do. And I'll tell you this right now, that our company could never have weathered all the storms of the financial meltdown in the US and globally if we had not had the ability to be able to attract high-end clients. Because in the toughest of marketplaces today, and today's online world is tougher than ever. I've been on it for 11 years. We still attract our ideal clients, given all the noise, using what I want to talk to you today and help you leverage. So let's first of all talk about framing yourself. Because if you don't understand that sales and marketing doesn't work anymore. That this is the day and age of knowing how to promote yourself. Not sell and market yourself, but promote yourself, promote your companies. So I want to make sure that we distinguish between marketing and marketability, between sales and becoming more sellable. Now, as I've said in the past, if you hate selling, and in the recommendation age, you never have to sell, do you? If you take a look at all the times that you've met with somebody over coffee, or somebody has come up to you at your child's soccer game, or over the water cooler at work, you know, for those of you that have jobs, or if you remember those days, you know that people come up with very specific questions, and you want to know how to give away very specific answers in the context of positioning your business. So you want to know how to frame yourself, because when you frame yourself, you can be, and you do it properly, you can become a lot more powerful. And I've given this example before. When somebody comes up and asks me, Glenn, how do I build a 7-figure advisory business that you speak of? They control the conversation. So I want to take the control back. And that's really important for you to understand. You want to take the control back. You've got to have positioning. Because by taking control back very strategically with a question I'm going to share with you that I would ask a potential client, I automatically frame what it is that we do. And I can begin to start framing what we do completely and distinctly from what our competitors are doing. All right? Now, if you notice, I talk with my hands a lot. My wife and my kids were just laughing with me on Sunday after I got back from San Diego speaking that, you know, if I didn't have hands, I wouldn't be able to speak. So, pardon, you know, if I tend to use my hands a lot, not in an aggressive manner, just in a very, you know, I just so believe and I get wrapped up in what I talk about. It's just part of Glenn. So you're going to have to take the good with the bad, and remember that a bottom line, I'm just here for you to help you get the results that you really, really want, because that's what we all want, right, at the end of the day. I know that's what I wanted. I know when I was in education and I had spent $65,000, you know, I wasn't even making that as a vice principal, and that was a lot of money for me. And I had, you know, my very first year in business, I made $512. That's not very good ROI. And I hired out another business coach, and his focus with me was all about building, closing deals, and making money. And he didn't tell me how to do it. He just said, Glenn, we don't have our next consult together, or our next until you've made, in the first case, $7,900. And then his next goal for me was $15,000. And he didn't tell me how to do it. I'm here to tell you how to do it. And I want you to understand that I did learn a lot from that person, because I began to understand that without cash flow, without focusing on the bottom line of your business, you can't really do what you really want to be doing. You can't give back to organizations like we do. You can't do, you know, what we ultimately want to do as a family. My family is travel. That's really all I ever wanted from growing a company, separate from getting out of education and the politics of administration that was literally robbing and stealing my dreams and aspirations. So the importance of knowing how to frame yourself is so crucial. And I want to, when you're framing yourself, you always want to know what your core story is and be able to leverage your core story. All right, notice when I was speaking with you, I wanted to model something for you. How I positioned a little bit of our core story, or if you will, what's taken, or what's the backstory of our company. All right. Now, if you notice, I left one question, an open-ended question here that needs and requires an answer, and we still haven't given you the answer. And that's part of what I teach clients to do in terms of building anticipation for what it is that you're going to teach them. You always want to build anticipation. And in order to build the right kind of anticipation, you've got to frame yourself properly, because if you don't frame yourself properly, you're not going to get the results that you're really looking for, because people aren't really going to pay attention to you at the level that you want. So if you look back at the example that I used, when somebody says to me, Glenn, how do I build a 7-figure advisory-based business that you speak of, I will ask them a question like, well, you know, why don't you tell me what you're doing right now to leverage authority and credibility in your marketplace? Or tell me, another way of asking that question is, tell me how you're leveraging authority and credibility in the assessment instruments that you're creating for your company to close high-end deals. Now I want you let's just stop for a second and let's deconstruct what I just said. Somebody came to me and asked me a question. I stopped the conversation and I reframed what the question should be to begin to start pointing to our competitive advantage. And we've got lots of them. But I want people to understand that I want to, if I'm really going to seriously help them, they've got to understand that I can seriously help them if they understand, first of all, that I have the kinds of questions that they should be asking, if they're truly ready for accelerated teaching and learning and really ready to get the kind of results that they really want. So I want to control the conversation, so do you. And when I control the conversation, I want to point to some aspect of our competitive advantage. So we teach clients how to build authority and credibility, and we teach them how to structure deals very quickly, very easily. I've showed you some examples how you can do it over a cup of coffee. We've done some Google Hangouts on closing deals over a cup of coffee. I've given you some examples of what we teach our clients around advisory-based products, or ABPs. There's nobody teaching this in the marketplace today. Nobody, none, that I have found. And I know the industry very, very well. So when you want to leverage, going back to now your core story, you want to, it starts by framing what you do. It starts by focusing on two things: who you are and what you've overcome. Who you are and what you've overcome. Who you are and what you overcome. So you probably want to write this down, that your marketplace really doesn't care about the narrative. They don't really care about, what you think they care about. There are two things that your marketplace wants to know about your core story or about the backstory of your company. Number one, they want to know who you are, who the CEO is, who the founder of the company is, who that person is. So who are you? And they want to know what you've overcome. What made Steve Jobs so attractive to his marketplace, outside of being at the cutting edge of some really cool products? And you need to be at the forefront, at the cutting edge of your own industry. That's why my clients love our certification and co-branding manifesto. You'll see it right here, right below me. newgurumodel.com/manifesto. You definitely want to get there. There's some multimedia training there, 5 tips to a great co-branding agreement, so that once you've built your training and your certification division within your company, let me stop it there just for a second, and let's take a look at what I just said. We want to frame what you're doing. So you want to have a division within your company, a certification high-end training division within your company. What does that teach everybody in your marketplace? It teaches them very quickly that you are heads and shoulders above, knees and toes, heads and shoulders above all of your competitors. And that's what I'm talking about knowing how to frame yourself or position yourself, or another term that we use a lot is posturing yourself properly so that people can appreciate your advice. Okay? It's no different than being rushed to emergency in a hospital and going to the triage section of emergency, and the triage section is where the nurses are. There's a doctor potentially there quickly if you just need to be like, if you're, they're coming in and you're all bloody and you look, you don't look good, you're going to be triaged in the moment. And that is triaging. It's making quick assessments on somebody and assessing where the urgency lies. And you want to have the ability to be able to leverage anticipation and urgency for people to move forward with you. So my clients love what we teach them around how to leverage this, all right? So I want to show you a few things, and I've got them here, as I said here. So I'm going to disappear. I'm going to show you my screen. We're going to come back and forth between me and the screen, just because I want to show you what I do, all right? I want to show you how I position, who I am, and what I've overcome, and how we do it very strategically, all right? And then I'm going to make an observation for you. So let me just share my screen, and you should see here the this is my greatest strengths. Now, this is just a summary here. I let people know that in order to build their own certification co-branding program, in order to replicate exactly what I've done, would run them about $2.5 million to $3 million. All right, so I'm coming back here just for a second here. That part of creating your backstory, you want to begin to dimensionalize the cost that you've incurred in terms of just learning. And I'm not talking about traditional education. I'm talking about non-traditional education, or as I call it, SOC, the School of Hard Knocks, SOC. And you want to begin to start teaching your marketplace on, what your advice is really worth to them. All right, and if somebody doesn't move forward with you, or the cost of not doing business with you, what that would cost them. So you want to start making sure you dimensionalize the value you bring to the marketplace. All right, so let's go back here, and number 2, my greatest strengths, and you want to write down your greatest strengths too, is the training industry is big. All right, the training industry is absolutely huge. As I said, it's a multi-billion-dollar industry, and it's only big. It's only growing bigger. Now, I want to make sure that people know that, and I also want to make sure that when clients are working with me, they're not only getting an opportunity to have access to our business acceleration systems, but they also have access to our accelerated teaching and learning processes. So they understand that investing in our programs, they're not only going to get unbelievable business acceleration systems to leverage, but they're also going to get the opportunity to be taught at an accelerated rate. And here's what happens. When you get taught the way that we teach, and we teach our clients how to close deals really quickly, you get the kind of results that you really want, right? When you get the kind of results that you really want, what happens? Now your clients get the results that they are investing in with your programs faster, right? Now you get increased social proof. As you increase your social proof and you get increased testimonials, and you leverage those through media releases and case studies like we do and Google Hangouts, etc., your status increases. And status is the #1 entity or thing that allows a company to grow almost virally. And as tying back to what we talked about, moving away from marketing and sales, and moving, instead of marketing, focusing on marketability. Instead of sales, focusing on becoming more sellable. By doing that, you increase your status. Okay, let me go back here, and we combine business then and teaching. That's another strength of mine. So this is all part of our backstory, or who Glenn Dietzel is. By 2020, 40% of Americans will be freelancing. That's shocking, isn't it? In fact, probably globally, that number is pretty well apropos to around Europe, Australia, Singapore, and most of the world. We assist people to create, sell, and fulfill their high-end programs and services. We have no refunds. Social proof is #1, and we create advisory-based products. And we teach our clients how to leverage advisory-based products. So you want to create some highlights of who you are. And you want to work that into every single presentation that you have. And we work those in different ways, very strategically, to help people understand just how valuable our advice is. Because remember, before you build a better product, you want to build a better problem. And that's why writing books, putting DVDs together, and all the time-consuming information that experts, so-called experts and gurus give, simply outdated. It doesn't give you speed. It doesn't focus on doing, in my example of, the medical profession and the triaging division within the emergency ward at a hospital. You need to have a way of triaging, assessing your marketplace really quickly. So I want to just make 2 observations from what I just showed you. You want to leverage your strengths, and you want to leverage them from the concept of trending data. All right, so you want to tie your strengths to the trends in the marketplace. That's crucial. So that's the first variable. The second variable then I want to look at is you want to focus on, after you frame who you are, you want to frame what you do. Frame what you do. Everything that we do with our clients is always framed not from our perspective, but from my potential client's perspective. Now, how do you build that framing? Well, you want to start thinking very strategically on how you can build marketing feedback data. Now, marketing feedback data is simply the data that you get if you focus on building a better problem. Because if you know how to build a better problem, and you've been following what we're teaching you, and you're implementing what I'm teaching you, you're going to start understanding the importance of how to get feedback in the marketplace that's going to take you in the direction that your company should really be going. So all of our clients, and your clients too, will invest in something that's crucial. ROI, or return on investment, or another way of taking a look at ROI is results. Bottom line, that's what your target market is investing in, is ROI or your results. So taking a look at what it is that you do from the standpoint of ROI and results. The third thing, then I want to tie number 2 and 3. So who you are, what you do, and we always want to tie what you do into a vetting process. So I want to tie the second variable, or the second point, with the third point, what you do from the standpoint of having an application process, or the ability to qualify your ideal clients, because it's really crucial that you keep yourself in the power position that my ideal clients, you know, they might think they're vetting me, and this, by the way, I'm doing Google Hangout, so you get a chance to vet me, and I get a chance to vet you. It works both ways, and that's really important that you have a system and a process that does the very same thing. So I wanted to share a page on newgurumodel.com. I want to show you what we do, and I think you'll find this very instrumental. So let's go back here, and let's go, before we do that, let's share the sunset of the week. This was a sunset that we had here in Sarnia, Ontario, Canada, off of our the Canadian Lake home, the beach of the Canadian Lake home, this past Sunday. And if you're new to us, you'll know that, or you won't know this, our longtime Google Hangout business breakthrough members will know that we have the best sunsets in the world according to the National Geographic. So that's our sunset of the week. This page right here that I'm showing you, and let's see if I can make it a little bit bigger here for you. Let's just pull this up a little bit here too. I think that should make it bigger on your screen. This is on our drop-down menu here, our business consulting page. If you drop it down, the very first tab here is the Do You Qualify page. Do you qualify? All right, and let me come back here to you. It's really important that as you talk about yourself and frame yourself, the core story, your backstory, as you leverage what you do from the context of an application process, so we've talked about all 3 key points here, it's really important that you have a qualification process. It starts building the anticipation of what you can do for your market. So what I just showed you is found at newgurumodel.com/do you qualify, newgurumodel.com/do-you-qualify. You take a look at that page, or you can go just go to newgurumodel.com, grab the tab that I said at the top. It's a drop-down tab, the first one, Do You Qualify? You can take a look. And we have a vetting process, and I'm very much involved in the vetting process. So are my clients. We've always involved our clients in our own vetting process because, you know, we live in a skeptical world today, highly skeptical, more so than ever. I mean, I've got clients that come to us that have invested well into 5 figures, many of them even into 6 figures in high-end coaching programs and mastermind programs, and they're not getting the results that they want. And is it any wonder? Because there's very few people that focus, number 1, on accelerated focus, number 2, on execution, and number 3, using the business model that we are known for, and that's inverting your business funnel and positioning a high-end program or service from all of what we've taught you and been teaching you around business acceleration and accelerated teaching and learning. So what I want you to see then is what it is that you do always needs to be from the standpoint of vetting your ideal client, because there are so many people today, you know, on the internet. And the nice thing about the internet is you can reach anybody. Bad thing about the internet is you can have a lot of people that end up just wasting your time. So as we vet people, we want to make sure that they're outcome driven, that they want results, that they are going to show up, that they know that we provide unparalleled assistance, from project management help to very specific advice to showing all of our clients exactly what we're doing. We give them access to all of our proprietary systems, etc. So when we talk about then putting your vetting process together and what you do, so we're talking what you do with an application process, it's all focused ultimately on building an offer. Building an offer. So if you're going to do a consult with somebody, you always want to say something like this. You know, Mr. Buggins, I'm really glad that I could find 30 minutes to meet with you. In order to get ready for our consultation, there are a few things that you're going to need to prepare ahead of time. And you can have those together, and I've revealed some of what we do. And secondly, and more importantly, you need to understand that the specific advice that I'm going to provide you is in the context of a program that my clients invest in, Certification Royalty Riches, or Omega Mind, or a program like that. All right? So it's really important that you always position what it is that you do from the concept or context of a vetting process, V-E-T-T-I-N-G. Make sure you can understand what I'm saying, a vetting process. All right? And when you have a vetting process, you position so much better your system for solving very specific problems in the marketplace, because that's ultimately, as we said, what your marketplace really wants, and that is results. So I want to take you through the last little component here of our three-pronged approach: focusing, framing who you are, framing what it is that you do, and thirdly, framing what it is that you do from the context of an application process. What we do in our consultative process is, at the end of a consultation, if people do qualify for the next step, we will send them an executive summary. Now, the cool thing about doing this is you don't need a website. When I was growing our company, and we started off with awakentheauthorwithin.com, that company grew, it grew tentacles in so many different directions. Behind it are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pages as we moved into business coaching, veered off of authoring into SEO, into some of our ABP systems, advisory-based products. As we started building out assessment instruments, it just grew tentacles in so many different ways. And because our company was growing so quickly, I didn't keep up, and I never kept up with putting copy together. If you want this program, go here and you find it all. What I did is I just created executive summaries, and then tied the executive summary into an agreement and the way in teaching people, how they could invest in our program. So I want to take you through an executive summary, really quick one. We're going to cover this in depth next week, and want to take a look at a case study, and I'm going to take a look at Omega Mind, so you can take a look. My clients love the ones that have invested in Omega Mind, and everybody is vetted directly by me in this program. This is our Omega Mind. It is a 2-page executive summary. I'm going to go into this a little bit deeper next week, what you should put into your own executive summary. You can do the executive summary as a video. You can do this executive summary as an audio, as a PDF file. Because Omega Mind is so omegally amazing, I've kept it right now as a PDF file, 2-page summary that we send to people that qualify to get our Omega summary. And what it involves is working at the Canadian Lake Home, coming into the Canadian Lake Home, working with me this fall, in a really cool event in November, and then all of 2014. We actually have a company coming in to do a documentary on the process, because they're so excited about our accelerated teaching and learning systems and the results that we give our clients, that there's a documentary being created on the process and for our individual clients. So it gives our clients an opportunity to let me assist them on putting their presentations together. They get to do their presentations. They get to get social proof and testimonials from other members. They get a chance to use the Canadian Lake Home with me and do their very first high-end, really cool event in a cool location. And it's all about building traction for yourself, because at the end of the day, you've got to have a way of building momentum. And that's where everybody gets tied up. They get focused on building product data, and they lose sight of the fact that what's so much more important than product data is problem data, and even more important than problem data is marketing or feedback data, because that's the kind of data that will tell you how to grow your company. So if you'd like more information, just out of curiosity, we're going to talk more about Omega Mind next week. You can text me to Omega if you're really interested in working with me directly. We have a long queue of people that I am vetting personally. But if you are very serious about that and you want to exchange contact information with me, you can text the word Omega, O-M-E-G-A, Omega, to 248-469-4376. 248-469-4376. And all you need to do is text the word Omega, O-M-E-G-A, Omega, to 248-469-4376. And that gives you a really cool way of you and I exchanging contact information. You know, when I travel, one of the things that I'm really bad at doing is getting details right. When I'm in the moment with somebody and I'll forget a number or get the wrong information, etc., because I really like high touch and putting people directly into my mobile. So we've created a better system. That's better for Glenn, better for you, that gives you an opportunity to communicate directly with me. And that's one of our secrets among all of our systems that we teach, is how to be very strategic with your ideal clients, allowing them to exchange contact information with you in the moment so that you can follow up with them and prioritize people. So I prioritize people definitely using systems that we've created in our business. So this is the end of our business hangout for this week. Next week we're going to attempt to do one from the Canadian Lake Home. Got to set up a couple of things there to be able to do it next week. So I'm going to do my best on Monday of next week to have ourselves all ready. We're either going to conduct it live outside on the beach. That'll be the first. I don't know if anybody's ever done a Google Hangout like that before. And if the weather's not very good, it is fall here, we'll be doing it inside from a very cool location inside the Canadian Lake Home. So anyways, I'm really excited about what you're learning. Why? Because what I'm teaching you is what I teach my own clients about what it is they need to know about building companies quickly. Because at the end of the day, if you know how to build yourself very strategically, you can start increasing the valuation of your company. So you get a better valuation for your company, because that's the end result, right? Growing a company is to sell it. And secondly, building royalties for your company. So you want to be highly strategic. You want to use a better business model. And that's, again, why you definitely want to take a look at the gift that I have for you at newgurumodel.com/manifesto. If you've already got it, I'd highly recommend you reread it, get the multimedia training that goes along with it, and understand why my clients like Joy Pecchia, whom I interviewed 2 weeks ago, why they're making the serious accelerated results in their own market, because they've got a more intelligent business model. So anyways, I'm here for you. If we can be of assistance to you, don't hesitate to phone or contact our international office at 519-542-3043, 519-542-3043. It's the same number that all of my clients use. I gave you the way of getting connection with me and exchanging contact information really quickly. I don't have to do any work, and that's why I like automated systems. And I look forward to our next Google Hangout. We're going to talk about executive summaries and how to put them together and to get the deals closed quickly. Because the faster you can close the deal, the faster you can cash flow the growth of your company and give you the kind of peace and security that you really want, right? So anyways, for the entire Awaken team, I salute you to taking focused, outcome-driven action. Have a great one, everyone.